Your national champion in 184 pounds from Penn State University, Ed Ruth.
Now that it's over, Ed, how do you enjoy it? What was the feeling like after that? Bring us through it a little bit.
I don't know. I'm already thinking about the next step, you know. I kind of feel like I just got over one tier. It's like right on to the next one.
And your first three-time champion in Penn State history for a lot of great wrestlers come through. What's that mean to you?
It's big, you know, because there's a lot of respected wrestlers that came through Penn State. You know, I see them every time they come in the room. I'm like, wow, you know, and it just makes me proud to be one of those guys.
And when you heard did you hear on the mat the headlock, Shep Talk chant? And because I know, in Rec Hall you're used to hearing the Ruth and all that. I mean, did that kind of get you going to kind of start out?
I did hear it. You know, it's nice to hear something else. You know, I hear Ruth all the time, and then I hear headlock, Shep Talk. You know, they're all just things that kind of egg the match on. And, you know, anybody can feed off of it, either you or your opponent. It doesn't matter. It's just how you choose to see it.
Ed, as you look back at your career, you're going to always be remembered with David Taylor. Many people think you guys are sort of the odd couple. How would you guys describe your relationship and your legacy?
I love David. I mean, like, he's a respected wrestler. I'd like to say the same for myself. So it's like, you know, being able to wrestle in a time as him, you know, it's like, it's big. It's like people who can say they can wrestle during the time of, you know, Brett Metcalf, Jordan Burroughs. You know, I can say I wrestled in the time of David Taylor, you know, Andrew Howe, Chris Perry, Kyle Digg. You know, it's just a big honor.
And right off the bat, you got a couple takedowns and established that match. Is that how you had planned it, to get out to an early lead? And talk a little bit about how this match differed maybe from other times you might have wrestled in.
Going out there, I never really have a game plan. It's just that as soon as the guy steps on the line, I step on the line, the first thing I'm thinking about is just taking 10, 20 shots so I get to his legs. Because in my head, I don't like to believe that people can fend me off. You know, if I'm taking shots, I like to believe that I can always get to the leg. And, you know, that just keeps me pushing for the next shot after that. Eventually, hopefully I'll get him.
Ed, you mentioned early on already looking to the next step, the next tier. Have you given any thought to what that is, or what that means for you?
I want to see how recovery goes, but I'm really leaning towards freestyle, chasing after an Olympic career, freestyle career, just seeing how far I can take that.
To build on that one, Ed, is that with the Nittany Lion Wrestling Club? Have you had discussions yet with Kale about that?
There's been minor discussions here and there, but he pretty much already knows what I intend to do. So, you know, it's kind of already set in stone.
If you could sum up your career in just one word, what would you use? How would you say?
Wow. I don't know, there's so many words. Fun. Every time I go out there and I'm on the mat, I always think about dancing, so I guess I'll say dancer.
Ed, I also asked you earlier relation with David. How about with Sanderson? At times he's had to actually discipline you at times, but yet you've been able to maintain a good relationship. But how has it worked?
I feel that he understands me. Like, he really understands me. He knows where I'm coming from. You know, even if he doesn't, he'll try to. And that's been big for me because, you know, I had my slip-ups along the way. And just for somebody to kind of like sit down with you, and they're not trying to crucify you, they're trying to help you along still. You know, it's like, hey, you're gonna have to take a break, or hey, I'm gonna have to do this, and then you're just gonna have to go along with it. You know, you bow your head, you say yeah, and then you just come right back after that.
And did Kale have any words of advice for you coming into tonight?
He tells me the same thing before every match. He just says, go out there and play.
At 5 years gone by, what are you gonna miss most about your college career, Penn State, competing on the stage like this?
The fans. Definitely the fans.
Just what has, the three-time champ, we talked about this last week, first time ever in Penn State, but can you just sum it all up? What tonight means, what the three-time champs mean, just what do you feel right now? Is it sickening?
When I first saw the brackets, and I was just like, you know, looking at all the guys that I had to wrestle with, you know, and I feel like I've been wrestling with them for a long time. I'm like, wow, I got him, then I have him, then I have him. You know, it's like I'm just looking down the line, and you know, it's just the other 2 days leading up to this day was just like, wow, I came a long way. And, you know, it just makes me think back on the rest of my career. You know, freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, up until now, and it's just like, wow, like I came a long way. You know, 5 years is a long time.
Yeah, last night Nick Heflin said he moved up 2 weights because he didn't want to wrestle you, because he didn't have a lot of success against you. What did that make you think that a guy bypassed you?
Makes me feel like I'm doing something right. It's just, you know, it's kind of saying that, it says to me that, you know, I'm aggressive. I'm somebody that people want to avoid. And, you know, the way that I worked out, the way I train, you know, I want to be that person. I want to be someone that people kind of fear and respect at the same time. Because once you step out there on the mat, you know, if the guys don't fear you, they don't want to respect you, you know, that's when they'll start wrestling you like they want to beat you. And you want to be the guy. Sometimes it's better if you can be the guy even if he's not on the mat. You know, you just want to, because wrestling is a whole mental sport. You know, it's mental from the time you step on the mat, the time you're on the mat, until you get off the mat, it's all mental. And to be able to do that, you know, I feel like I kind of got that part down pretty well.
Okay, thank you, congratulations.
Got one more.
Oh, one more in the back, sorry.
Ed, how you doing, buddy?
Hey.
Offensively, you're working with Cale Sanderson, who was one of the best and most offensive wrestlers in the history of college wrestling. You got David Taylor, who's one of your teammates, who's been one of the most dominating guys over the last 3 or 4 years. You yourself have been one of the most dominating wrestlers over the last 3 or 4 years. What is the impact of Cale had on you as far as your aggression? I mean, you just continue to score and score and score. I mean, most guys your weight are not scoring in the teens, but you are routinely. How is that happening?
You know, when you're in the practice wrestling with Cale, or Casey, or Varner, you don't want to be those guys that stand still. You stand still, they'll pick you apart. It's like they're literally taking off pieces of your body, just putting it on the mat, and then you have to wrestle without it. It's like, it's crazy. So when you just, with all those guys that's in our practice room that I wrestle with, it's just, I always want to stay moving. I always want to attack. When guys don't have a chance to react, then you know you're controlling them, controlling the match. And I found that out real early on. So, you know, I learned that from him. You know, even with some of the freshmen that's in our room, those guys are coming at me, man. They're coming at me hard. And it's like, I got to keep attacking them. You know, I got to get them to back off. You know, it's like a wolf that bares his teeth. You're not going to want, if he's trying to snap at you and bite you the whole time, you know, you're not going to try and punch it. You're not going to try to do it. You're going to back up away from it. You know, it's like is kind of backing them up, putting them on the defensive.
Absolutely. Congratulations, man.
Thank you. Congratulations.